One afternoon I was sitting at my computer, trying to decide between huffing glue or staring blankly at my wall, when my friend introduced me to Shatterline. Shatterline takes place in a post-apocalyptic world, which has been quite literally glassed by aliens. This was all predicted by a raving homeless man. The homeless man behind my apartment just calls himself the Rat King and tries to stab me with used needles. So I suppose these guys are a little bit better off. The glass the aliens rained on the planet killed millions. It's actually a bioweapon that infects anyone it touches, and turns them into Wyominites, or glassheads as they are colloquially known. The characters you play in Shatterline are special because they're immune to the glass's infections. All except for Orbit, who is clinically insane, or German as some people call it. Each character comes with their own unique abilities and ultimates. Mongoose is your go-to for all things explosive. If you're like me and can't aim for shit, just press your G key and let area of effect damage do the aiming for you. Ooh, he did not watch out enough.
Wow.
If you're worried you're gonna miss even with a grenade, his special is a 40mm grenade launcher, so you can throw some accuracy by volume in there. Malva is a classic healer that uses medkits to restore allies' health. She also comes with a personal combat drone that will not make you win your gunfight, but it will make the other person lose it. Her ultimate creates a healing bubble that'll make your teammates almost impossible to kill. That is if you get a team that actually stands on the objective. Strix is an Olympic athlete who can sprint across the map, allowing you to meet your untimely demise that much quicker. Her ultimate sucks. It's a Vulcan minigun that takes 1 second to spin up and maybe lets you shoot it for 2. That is if you survive the spin-up in the first place. Kite is a British man, but it's not all that bad. His abilities let you climb up special walls for extra mobility, and he also has my favorite ability in the game, a remote mine that can stick to any surface. The mine has a proximity alert that beeps whenever enemies are nearby. This lets you know exactly when to press it for a kill you probably didn't earn. But if you do actually feel like earning your kill, a good way is to bait enemies into chasing you. His special is a crystalline revolver that kills enemies in one hit and leaves a trace of deadly energy where it shoots. Brisa is a sniper character that has an active camo. While it works pretty good at long ranges, up close it's pretty obvious you're being charged by an angry Brazilian woman. Like Kite, she has a mine, but instead of a mine that just kills people, she has a mine that sends you to the glass zone where you will die slowly and panicking.
Bro, this is ridiculous.
Holy shit. Oh! No! Not the crystal zone! Her ultimate ability is a crystalline bolt-action rifle that will kill enemies in one shot, and I'm pretty sure it goes through walls. Either that or I was playing against a hacker. Pill is the other healer in the game. Instead of a drone that deals in combat, he has a revival drone that goes to a fallen teammate and puts up a smoke screen while it revives them. The revival mechanic in this game is a very interesting one. Hypothetically, it's a way to get a fallen teammate back up. In reality, it's a good way to give the enemy team another kill. Whether that's the person reviving you because they're very vulnerable, or it allows the guy who just killed you to shit on you a second time.
Wait, are you reviving yourself, you stupid fuck?
So hypothetically, the revival drone would work as a safe alternative, except it makes it super obvious whenever you're getting revived. So the person who kills you when they suddenly see a bunch of green smoke appear are just gonna shoot into it and kill you again.
Hope you don't die. Oh, no, or it could just get me and then I can get killed. Thanks, fucking goddammit.
Also, as a piece of advice, if you're reviving someone, you should probably figure out why they died first.
Oh, never mind. Did not see the shorts.
Oh my god! He also has a stasis grenade that slows enemies, making them easier to kill. If I choose Pill, it's not so I can revive you, it's so I can use his ultimate and light half the map on fire. Orbit is the only member of the team not immune to the effects of the glass. In fact, he's infected with 2 different strains and injects more into his body recreationally. His ultimate sees him giving himself a boost of the virus, causing spikes to protrude from his body and giving him a massive armor boost for a few moments. The last character you have to choose from is Ram. Ram is an American soldier whose kit grants him a very satisfying throwing axe and a shockwave that does absolutely nothing.
Oh, sit down, bitch. It literally doesn't work. It does nothing! It's shit!
But whereas his shockwave is lacking power, his kick more than makes up for it, allowing you to kick objects into enemy players for satisfying kills.
Oh, get fucked.
And unlike Strix, whose ultimate is useless, his allows him to turn his body into a ballistic missile.
How the fuck was that an axe? That shit explode. Oh!
Every character is allowed to use every weapon, except here's the thing, there's only really one weapon, the Burlington Tack. I could choose a different gun, or I could slide around a corner and put a buckshot into someone's teeth. The PvP game mode for the game is called Versus. It's a pretty standard 6v6 shooter. Each team can have one of each character. The gunplay is actually really balanced, unless I die, and then it's bullshit and it needs to be patched. The game has a pretty good variety of game modes. You have your standard stuff like Team Deathmatch and all that. My favorite is Conquest, which is essentially just Hardpoint. It's where I've had the most fun by far. And I feel like that's where you really get into where support classes are actually useful. Because if I'm playing Team Deathmatch as Marva and I throw up my healing bubble, my allies don't really have anything keeping them in that bubble, so it's kind of shit. But if I'm locking down a hard point with it, everyone's going to crowd around me and it actually makes me useful. The progression system in the game is basically the more you play, the more you unlock. So when you're playing with a hero, the more you play them, the more perks you unlock. Or the more you play with a single gun, the more attachments you unlock. Pretty standard stuff. Now, there is a huge downside to the progression system. So the weapons are locked behind different tiers. You start out with tier 1 unlocked just by default. Now, Tier 1 has some pretty good stuff, but it takes a while to get to Tier 2. And now, obviously, as you go up in tiers, you're going to find better and better weapons. The problem is the game doesn't actually separate players that only have Tier 1 unlocked and players that have Tier 5 unlocked. So you can be a brand new player to the game, only trying out your first weapon, and someone with their fully customized Tier 5 shotgun will just blow you away. Now, this is by no means a game-breaking issue. I just feel like it would be a lot better for new players if they were actually able to experiment with guns more instead of feeling trapped in Tier 1 for a while. The PvE mode for the game is called Roguelike Co-op. It's 3-player co-op, all based around completing 4 objectives. In between the objectives are supply drops. The supply drops will give you new weapons or the abilities for your chosen characters. Supply drops are found after completing objectives and on the way to them. They cost nothing to open, but at the same time they cost you everything to open by costing you time. You see, the bar on the top of your screen will fill up the longer you're in the area. Whenever the bar completes fully, it'll add a modifier to the enemy, making them stronger and making you more likely to die. That way the game is basically a balancing act between taking the time to get all the supplies you need, but also completing fast enough that you're not going to get shredded. When the bar fills up for the final time, you just lose the game. The 2 enemy factions you're going to encounter during the co-op is going to be the Glassheads, who are mostly restricted to melee damage, for whom I would recommend using a shotgun, and the Strafers, which is the cult led by the homeless man in the intro, that are mostly ranged enemies, for whom I would recommend not a shotgun. The first 3 out of the 4 objectives are completely randomized. And I'll give you some examples that I got in this playthrough you're watching. Starting off, we have probably my favorite, which is the Crystalline Core. Basically, your objective is to destroy an armored core. The way you disable the armor is you enter a small pocket dimension and weaken it from within. The visuals are a massive strong suit for this game, and so seeing stuff like this is awesome. Once the alternate version of the core is destroyed, you can damage the one in your dimension. The next objective is called the Grinder. The objective of this is to kill the floating monster in the sky. You do this by killing a dog, ripping its spine out, and then using the spine like a firearm to shoot it out of the sky. This is by far the easiest objective I've done, and shows the progress that humanity is yet to make in canine-based anti-aircraft technology. The last objective we did had us killing shard skins and bringing samples back to a collector. Nothing much to that one, to be honest. The last objective is always going to be the same. It's basically a boss fight where you take on the Envoy. The Envoy being the source of all the corruption in the area. Defeating it is going to require good luck, good weapons, and good teamwork.
Shit.
Good luck. Shatterline is probably the most fun I've had just playing an FPS with friends in a long time. It actually reminds me a lot of early days of Black Ops 3, so it's got like kind of a nostalgic element to it. The game's completely free. It only came out in September, so it's pretty new. They've already put out Season 2 of the Battle Pass, along with a bunch of updates. The UI even looks different from what you've seen in this video. So the devs are still working pretty hard on it. I definitely recommend supporting this game, checking it out, and just having some fun. This is my first time doing this kind of video. The other stuff has kind of been review-like in nature, but this is my first attempt at like doing a straight-up review. The next one's going to be a Cyberpunk video. That one, I'm probably going to take a lot of time on that one. I'm going to be switching to a different editing software, so that should be exciting. I might find kind of smaller projects to post in the meantime, but I definitely hope you stick around if you liked it. I'm trying to do more of this and do it better. So, thanks for watching.
Oh, here, I got you.
Motherfucker. Oh,
I got him.
Oh, my game is glitching the fuck out right now.
I'm seeing that.
Oh, wow.
That's...
It does,
I don't...
it's not, it's getting faster.
I don't know who I am anymore.
I'm so curious to see who I end up with.